What's up, guys? Welcome back to the number one and the only fight podcast in Singapore. We are the One Man Show. You can find us on Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, and also Instagram. We try to talk about all things fight sports in Singapore on this podcast. And unfortunately, I have to start this episode here today with some bad news for all 5,000 listeners that we've had or people who have listened to us. This is Ridhwan's last episode with us. As you can see, he's quite emotional. And this is simply because Ridhwan is no longer the number one pound for pound boxer in Singapore. And because he is now number two, and we are the One Man Show, and we are also the number one fight podcast in Singapore. Unfortunately, we can no longer have him. So, Ridhwan, enjoy your last episode and also enjoy being number two forever.
Yeah, whatever. I don't mind.
Obviously, you mind because you have fallen sick. You cannot stop sneezing. Apparently, it's from how sad you are.
I've been sleepless.
Alhamdulillah, bless you. It's kind of cold when you're down on number two, isn't it? Number one is always where the air is better. You know what I mean?
Maybe I don't even give a shit about that.
Obviously, guys, we have to address a very important issue here that has come to our attention, and I think a lot of listeners and also a lot of Ridhwan's fans want to hear his reaction from this. It's come to our attention that, as context to what we're going to talk about, it's come to our attention that recently the Boxrec pound for pound fighter rankings for Singaporean fighters have been making their way online, Instagram, I think. And surprisingly enough, to a lot of people, our friend here, Mr. The Chosen One, Mr. TCW, Mr. three-time bronze SEA Games medalist, who cannot stop sneezing, is not at the top of the rankings. Instead, he is number two, which sucks for him, but I find hilarious. Oh, what do you think about the rankings, One? You like it?
Well, I think, to be honest, the ranking is like, when you walk into a bookstore, the shelves where like number one, this book, number two, this book, number three, this book, number four, this book. It's like that. Nobody cares about it.
Well, it seems like a lot of people care about it. If not, we're not doing an episode on this. But
only the number one people care about it.
Really? You think so?
I think so. I think of course some people that supporting me feel that it's unfair. But to be honest, I don't really know how Boxrec works because they don't really release like the methods they use to count. Usually it's like the promoter say they need to fight for a belt. You need to move my fighter up before he can qualify, and that's how it happens.
How do you think this Boxrec thing works? Because apparently nobody knows.
Yep, I have no idea also. I think it all comes down to a mathematical equation where only the creators know, but I know the numbers can be adjusted because some fighters can be ranked so far, but they need to be moved up the rank so that they can qualify to fight for a belt or something. So I think that's how it works. I mean, previously I was ranked like number 60 something. I was like number one, obviously, in Singapore, according to Boxrec. But I never bothered to post it because it really doesn't mean anything. But now I'm ranked 200 plus suddenly overnight. So and it's COVID, no fights are not happening, and I just got moved to a rank number that's so far. So I really don't know how it works.
Are you frustrated that you lost so much rankings?
I'm to be honest, it only matters because when you are ranked higher, of course you get the power to demand more pay, and you deserve a higher fight purse. But other than that, I don't really I'm not really affected by it.
Because I think there was one point of time when you were in the top 50. I think the highest ranking was what? Top 25?
Top 35, yeah. Top 30, yeah. Top 30 in the world.
So that was when you were still undefeated, lah, right?
That was when I was undefeated, and also because I was fighting for a belt that requires for me to be top 50.
So do you think being undefeated also helps you in your pound for pound rankings?
I think, to be honest, pound for pound is something that not the fighter himself can rank himself. I think pound for pound is an opinion, just an opinion of people where people feel if the fighter deserves to be in the pound for pound ranking. It doesn't really mean anything, to be honest, not even in a scientifically kind of way. But just like if you feel this fighter can go against fighters maybe lower weight class or higher weight class or from a different era to this current era, I think that's where the discussion of pound for pound comes into play. I mean, that's generally my understanding of pound for pound.
Okay, but obviously we don't know who is the person on Boxrec who is giving the opinions and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we care about is the opinions of people who are actually in Singapore and people who actually care about the fight sport itself.
True.
So what kind of feedback are you getting from people when the rankings started going around?
I think people are saying that I've had tougher competition. I've had more fights. I've fought for more recognizable belts, and they feel like I should be the one on number one. But to be honest, like I tell them, it doesn't really matter because number one or number two, number three, I'm willing to fight
Whoever.
number one, number two, number three, I can fight them. If they want to fight me, of course, anytime. Anytime, anywhere, any place, any judge, any referee.
Okay,
Even
don't step fighter here because even the Undertaker is retiring. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I heard.
I mean, for you as a boxer, obviously, you kind of care about, to a certain extent, you care about what people think, right? You have a persona, and I think what people are so, from my understanding, what people are so upset about is because you've been number one for so long that it is kind of funny that you suddenly fall down to number two without really, having a fight or anything like that. So I kind of understand where people are coming from. But then again, I also understand how metrics work. And sometimes, the numbers actually do not make sense because I think there was an argument before on how like Demetrius Johnson was the number one pound for pound UFC fighter, and John Jones was number two. When a lot of people put out the argument where John Jones fought higher caliber fighters, and to a certain extent also held the belt longer than Mighty Mouse himself. So I mean, numbers. On top of that, we Malay, we don't understand numbers, right?
True. That's why I didn't really bother.
Well, I mean, if somebody out there who doesn't really understand boxing and stuff like that, and comes up to you and it's like, "Hey, Wan, why are you number two? Why are you not number one? What would you tell them?"
I would just say honestly, I don't know. It's something beyond my comprehension. But all I know is that if I'm required to show what I'm made of, to get back to number one, if it means so much to people, then I will. Because I don't back away from a fight. I mean, I fought so many tough fights and and enjoy every bit of it.
But do you? I mean, the important thing here is that do you think you're still number one?
Deep down, I know I am the best so far that's come out from this country in terms of professional boxing. I've fought tougher fights. I've gone to places. I have been active for. I think I've been the only boxer so far who has been this active. I mean, I only taken a break after SEA Games when I lost. I think the longest was like 2 months. The rest of the time, I've been training and fighting and competing. I know the rest of the boxers had like 1 year layoff or 3 years layoff, something like that. But I have always been at it. I've never been away. So
I think one of the things that people people who know you knows that you are not somebody who gets affected by naysayers or things that people who don't really matter say, right? But
yeah,
the fact of the matter is that the Boxrec rankings are so-called on paper official. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Does it give you a bit more motivation to ah,
I think when I'm sure if the time comes for me to fight, the fact that I know that somebody else is considered to be number one, whether he deserves it or not, I think that's added motivation for me to just crush him if I eventually fight him. But if not, I will just do my best to crush whichever opponent that's in front of me. It's like a statement to tell him that this could be you.
so you obviously have somebody in mind, and I think there's not a need for us to name that person, and everybody can see the rankings themselves. Obviously, when you're on top, everybody wants to bring you down,
Yeah,
right?
everybody wants a piece of you. I think before the rankings were out, I was obviously number one, way, way ahead. I was at top. I was at least number 60 in, in the world in my weight class. Surprisingly, they didn't post that. So they only post that, I mean, the day after like I went down. So I think different people need to celebrate different things in their lives. So if that's a huge, so if that's a huge milestone, so be it, man. So be it. If they need that extra motivation to push themselves to make that fight happen, why not? It's added motivation for me to prove them that I am right.
But I mean, you and your camp obviously think that this is so-called fake news, right?
Well, it's really happening, but you're not affected by it. You don't evaluate ourselves, our skill, our ability based on just the rankings. So, and the thing is, we know that they know. So, if they can sleep at night after all that they've said, or from the actions, it's good for them. I'm not affected.
It's so odd to hear those words coming up from your mouth when you have a tissue way up your nose,
Yeah, man, I'm
and
horribly sick now.
also knowing that you've been crying before we had this conversation about how you lost your number one ranking, because obviously you got no more belts, so this is the only thing that you have to hold on to, and that's gone also. So yeah, 2020 has been bad for you, huh?
Nah, it's okay. Actually, I like it. I like the circuit breaker, to be honest. It gives me a break, shut off. Other than that, it's just like, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I'm just looking forward to fight again. And all I can say that I am ready no matter what. I am here. They know where to find me.
This is starting to sound like a wrestling trailer, and again I said Undertaker is retiring.
Retiring.
One, you don't have to take his place.
Taking over.
But I just I just want to dig a bit deeper, because that's what I do, right? I stir shit, right? I
You like to
go,
dig things.
I like to dig things deep and go into the spicy stuff, and I'm not afraid to get dirty. Just don't punch me outside. This is all persona, guys. Peace. Uh when you were on top, when you were champ, uh I mean, you've been champs a few times, you have a few belts, right? What do you still have that same mindset where I'm a champ and I still want to prove myself to anybody who wants to fight me? Or are you the kind of like, I'm a champ and maybe I'm the champ. I'm the man. So I pick and choose who gets to fight me.
I think I am the kind who believes if you're a champion, you need to fight anywhere and everywhere around the world as long as you have the opportunity. Then if you have a contender who's willing to face you, I mean, putting money aside, I mean, money is important thing when it comes to professional boxing, but it shouldn't be the main consideration. So for me, it's like if you're a champion, you need to give the contenders a chance to fight. I mean, if you are a champion, you won't back away. I mean, for me, having somebody considered to be better than me is definitely motivation. If that's a strategy that they're taking, then to me that's a mistake because they're just putting fuel into the fire. But other than that thing, it's I think it's just an added motivation for me. It's like a boost.
Yeah, boost that.
Yeah.
Now, I think the other thing that I want to touch on is also, obviously you've been a part of an organization. You've been a part of Ringstar, right? I mean, Ringstar was, even though it was short-lived and there was a lot of controversy, Ringstar was the biggest fight boxing organization in Singapore at one point of time. Uh, do promoters, from your interaction with Ringstar, do promoters actually force fighters to fight certain fights, or do they work with the fighters to, pick and choose who they want to fight?
I think it depends if your promoter likes you and they see that there's a future with you. Because I mean, way before us in the past, the boxers like Roberto Duran were forced to fight because were forced for a rematch with Sugar Ray Leonard where he lost because even though he's not ready, because the rematch he promised a lot of money, like millions of dollars. So I think the promoter agreed for the fight to happen, even though Roberto Duran know that he's not ready. So things can just happen.
So you yourself have never been in the situation where your promoter was trying to get you to fight somebody that you didn't want to fight?
I am always up to fight anybody, but I think for me the greatest example was I wasn't ready to fight at super bantam. But then I think my handlers increased the purse money, to make it a bit more enticing. And the guy that was with me said, you know what, let's give it a go. Even though the earlier discussion was like, we're not gonna go fight below the featherweight class because there's more money. He said, oh, maybe we should just give it a shot.
So when you say your handlers, you're talking about your coach or Ringstar?
Ringstar and coach.
So this was for the Abunda fight.
Yeah, this was for the Abunda fight where I lost the world title.
So you felt like the decision to move to Super Bantam was a big part of why it didn't work out for you?
Well, it's not an excuse. I don't want to make it an excuse. I definitely lost because of the skill, because of my ability that night wasn't up to the expectation that I wanted it to be. But the weight class that I was fighting in, the super bantamweight, was definitely a huge factor. But it's not an excuse. I don't want to make it an excuse. I genuinely lost to the guy, so it is what it is.
Yeah, also the guy had his shots up here, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's very hard to punch only here when your shots are up here.
It's a strategy.
I still think that's one of the reasons why you lost, because his shots were so high up that you don't know where his body was. So, I mean, enlighten me, I'm quite fascinated by this. As a fighter, at which point are you able to actually say no to your promoter when he presents a fight to you? Do you ever have the power for that?
I think, for sure. I think all boxers have the power to do that. But of course, I think if you keep saying no, you keep rejecting, I think the promoter will say, I will just give this opportunity to somebody else. So.
But then again, you also are not the type to run away, right?
Yep, never the kind to, and never will start to.
Do you think that's one of the do you think that's a weakness or that's a strength? Because obviously you step up to a bunda and then you lost.
Yeah, well, but I learned a lot from that. And if I'm given a chance, I will do it again. Even though it's in the wrong weight class, I will do it again because losing that gives me so much lesson, so much experience that I will never get from winning a fight. I think that fight pushed me to the limit and brought me to a place where I've never been before, mentally and physically. So I really have no regrets in that.
Would you say that you are not afraid to lose?
Yep, I'm not afraid to lose. That's why I think I am one step towards achieving greatness in my path, in whatever that I'm trying to do.
I find this fascinating because I recently listened to an interview that Abang Joe did with Henry Cejudo. So if those of you who don't know, Henry Cejudo is a two-division UFC champ, and he was also the youngest ever Olympic wrestling champion from the US, right? Uh, so when he moved from wrestling to MMA, in his first title, I think it was his first title fight, he actually lost to Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse. Uh, so he shared his journey where he has this belief that when you lose, right, it's not just physically that you feel beaten. You obviously, this is quite obvious, that mentally, emotionally, you feel beaten, right? But he also says that the best way to overcome that is actually to go for therapy, talk to a shrink, and actually, condition your mind to to take the benefits out of a defeat and make it, something that you train along the lines. Because after he lost to Mighty Mouse, he sacked all his coaches. He went traveling, he find his center again, and he said he learned so much from the loss that eventually he came back to win the title against Mighty Mouse, right?
Yeah, I think a loss is a loss if you don't make the best of a situation. I mean, the situation that you lost, if you don't learn from it, then it is truly a loss. Maybe you start making excuses. If your team start making excuses for you and you believe in that, then you're at a loss. Because if you lose and you learn from it, you find out, you be honest with yourself about your performance, about how your team performed, whether they were up to the job leading up to the fight. I think a lot of changes if you make, it really brings you the right direction. I think all these losses sort of bring you to the right direction.
I think one of the things that I read from one of your supporters was also, I think they mentioned how a fighter should not be judged by the fact that he's undefeated, because you know in boxing especially, there's this thing known as padding your record. And it's kind of how you promoters will pick and choose the opponents for their prize fighter to bring their record up. So the longer he goes undefeated and the more he keeps on winning, the higher his ranking will go, right? And
Right.
then eventually he will hit a certain ranking where he can go for belts.
Right.
Am I right?
Yep.
Now, I don't know if you were in the situation before, but I remember that you went 11-0. Was it 11-0?
I believe so. Yeah, it's 11-0.
So there was actually a point of time where one of your fights, I think it was with Sebastian, was, they said something like somebody's O has to go, right?
Yep.
So I didn't know that was actually a big saying in boxing, somebody's O has to go.
Mhm.
Uh, but when I look more into it, it seems like being undefeated and having that O is very important in boxing. Could you tell me why?
I would say it's very important, but in terms of marketability, I guess it makes you look good. I mean, somebody will want to pay. People will be interested to see you lose. So if you are undefeated, going against another guy that's undefeated, I mean, for sure, somebody will lose. So you just don't know who. And that creates the suspense. That creates a story leading up to the fight, and leading up and having stories leading up to fight. I mean, that sells tickets. And I
But
guess being undefeated sort of put you upper the ranks, maybe.
but was that added pressure?
For me, no, because like I said, my goal wasn't just to be undefeated. My goal was to go out there and to test myself. I mean, I wasn't really earning a lot from boxing, and that wasn't really my main source of motivation to earn money because of to box so that I can earn money. So I do it because I love it. I love the process. I love the struggles and all of that. And the fact that I was willing to go out there and challenge myself, it was the best feeling ever.
So you would say that after you lost your O, you actually didn't feel any different as a fighter from when you had that O.
I felt different not because now I have like 12-1 or that record, the number zero gone. I felt different because I lost a fight which I thought I could have won. And it's nothing to do with the record at all. It's more about how I want to be a better fighter for myself, for the fans, for the people who believe in me. And I think that's what matters more than protecting my record.
Now, like I said, you're not a person who is easily distracted by hearsay, because if you are, a lot of people talk shit about you, and you would have been affected by now. I.e., I like to talk shit about you. I enjoy it, but
Yeah, we know.
I only enjoy it because you like it.
So
but
wrong.
but as a fighter, you've been in this for quite a long time. It has to still feel good when something like this happens and you feel so much love from the people who are your supporters, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think one thing that I like about my fans, my supporters, is that they know what they're talking about. They're not just like brainless supporters where they just support you blindly. Like they know they are more educated about the sport, about the system, and they know what they want to see, and they know what makes a good fight. So I'm proud that
Again, so hard to take you seriously when you have a tissue up your nose.
I
I
know,
wish
right?
I wish you had something else up your nose, but I mean that's another podcast for another day, right?
Yeah.
Uh
And the
now
fact that they've got my back, I think that's so sweet, lah. Just
so
make sure buy
sweet.
tickets, guys.
Yeah, and also keep on listening to the One Man Show. Like, subscribe, follow Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify especially, because one needs a bit more money to buy more tissue for his nose.
Yep.
We all know he has problems with his nose, and you guys get to see it firsthand what's wrong with his nose now. Uh, this from my understanding, from what I see, how do I put this? There's every chance that this might get a bit hostile from fans of TCW, and also fans and friends of other boxes and stuff like that. Do you want to say something to your fans to maybe calm down, like make them calm down, or do you think that they should put pressure on certain individuals, certain organizations to make things happen to settle this once and for all?
I think I look at it this way. If I'm a promoter, if I'm a boxer, I wouldn't want my boxer to fight me. So, and I obviously cannot force somebody to fight me if they don't want to. So, like I said before, I'm not running away from this. I never asked for the fight. The fight got offered to me. I said yes. If the contract is here in front of me right now, I will sign it. So, if the fight doesn't happen, it's not because of me, it's because of the other side. And if he's number one right now, let him be. Let him feel for a while how it feels to be number one, because he will never feel it again.
uh Sometimes when I ask you to say things to make things better, you know what? You always make things worse. And that's why I like you, because you do the unexpected, even though sometimes it throws me off my game and you make me feel like shit. But guys, listen, this is not an attack on anyone. This is not us, the one man show, asking you guys to go out and point fingers or pressure anyone out there. Uh, Obviously, when my first impressions when this came out was actually I just laughed lah. I think one you were
Same.
you,
Same.
I think one sent it to our group chat, and I laughed because I was like, one is no longer number one. He's number two. I got so many jokes and so many things to make fun of. Like, he's no longer like Singapore's number one boxer with a big nose. He's just now Singapore's number two boxer with a big nose. Uh, and I also felt like after that, when I calmed down, and I realized that, you know, sometimes I have to pretend that one is my friend and I have to care about how he feels. And I was like, it's kind of shitty to know that you didn't lose your number two because you lost in the ring. I mean, you didn't lose your number one because you lost in the ring, but somehow some formula made you lose it.
It's like how Liverpool won because lost to Chelsea, that kind of thing.
No, 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 no. Now, congratulations to all the listeners who are Liverpool fans.
Are you a Liverpool fan?
Fuck off! I'm a Chelsea fan.
Oh, thanks for doing the job for Liverpool. Then.
And to all our listeners who are Liverpool fans, I just want to say one thing to you guys. Congratulations on winning the Premier League finally after 30 years. But remember this, okay? There's always an argument between whether Steven Gerrard or Frank Lampard is a better midfielder, right? That's always the case. Everybody's like, why? Who is the better midfielder for England or for the world and stuff like that. But I just want all my Liverpool fan listeners to remember this. Frank Lampard helped you guys win a title. Okay? Steven Gerrard made a title slipped away from you guys.
Who?
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna go back to boxing because I think that's what's more important right now. Guys, you guys might be listening to this thinking that we were going to address certain things that needs to be addressed, and I think we have. I think the main thing that is that people who are listening to us right now should understand how the rankings work. And I think you guys also want to hear what one feels, and obviously one does not give a shit, which is one. That's one for you. He's gonna fight who he wants to fight, and he's gonna fight anybody that challenges him to fight. So I think this is not just an open call to people who are ranked higher than him, but if you are ranked lower than him also, and you don't feel like you're happy with that, challenge him to a fight. Make it happen. No, even if you are in the women's pound for pound,
better,
and you and you and you think that you should be placed in the men's pound for pound higher than one,
quality one.
Please get in touch with us at the One Man Show podcast at gmail.com. I have no idea what our Gmail is.
Yeah,
but we have Spotify, we have Facebook, we have YouTube, we have Instagram. All this shit came out on Instagram. You can talk to us on Instagram. If you want to call out one, please go ahead and call him out. We would love to actually do a live podcast while a fight is going on between one and someone else, whoever who wants to fight him. And also, guys, we're not in this business of forcing things to happen that people don't want to happen. Look, if Liverpool can win the league in 30 years, definitely one day, if it's meant to be, one will get the fight that he so badly wants right now. Right, one? Yeah. And we also wish one day one will fix his nose. But uh, I just want everybody out there who's listening to this not to.
Not to be too overly hyped up, emotional, and go crazy with. Do not insult anybody because cyberbullying and shit. Black lives matter. About one lives matter.
Why life
So
matters?
so yeah, be kind, be kind. Our time will come. Our time will come. So chill.
We're I mean I've known one for a while now, and this kind of thing doesn't bother him. Obviously, it fucks with his mind a bit when he's alone at home and he's sitting in his corner where he's facing right at Woodbridge, where he knows his future is gonna be. Uh, but you guys got to understand that there's a lot of mechanics that goes on behind making a boxing fight happen, especially in Singapore, where there is not a lot of money to fight for, and mostly it's pride, and sometimes, unfortunately, pride does not come with a price, and people like to give it away for free. Just like how Adib, our producer, is doing this show for free,
Selling himself.
selling himself out. That's how it is, guys. We are the One Man Show, and we want to unite everyone. We don't want everybody to be divided. Right, one?
Yeah. So unite yourselves in hating me. I
Yes.
embrace it.
Don't hate the show. Hate one. Because I mean, if we can unite everyone to hate one, and the boxing community actually comes together for one to hate one, me and Adib's KPI will be reached, and we might get ourselves a bonus from the show. You know what I mean? That's all we set out to do, guys. You guys need to pray and hope that this fight happen. And those of you who is listening to this, who feels like there are some unjust comments, get in touch with us. We would love to hear you guys on the show. We love to try to get your point of view, obviously. Uh, those of you who are listening are not liking and don't want to come forward, then all I can say is that this is an opinion show. We have our own opinions. Obviously, you guys have your own, and we respect that. And if you guys want your opinion said, go start your own podcast. Let's fight in a podcast world, right? One?
True.
I mean, we already lost to an Instagram page who started like 2 weeks ago. What do we have to lose? When I say that pride does not come as a price, I'm saying that our pride has no price at all. We'll do anything for free. If you guys want to sponsor the show, have your names anywhere, just let us know. We'll do it for, I might do it for a box of cigarettes, and one might do it for one prata bomb and one prata cheese, right?
Yeah, with sambal.
Sambal. Sambal is very important to my friend one. Okay. So yeah, I guess I hope you guys who have come on to the show have learned something. The fact that we are major trolls, on top of the fact that we like to talk about boxing once in a while, maybe 5 minutes into the show, and then talk about other shit. Main thing here is one is not bothered by this shit. One will fight to eventually become number one again. Right, one?
Hope so.
Anything else you want to add on to your fans?
I just want to say thank you for the support, for the passionate love, for the passionate hate, for the passionate criticism. I appreciate it. I know your intentions are right, but we don't want to cause unnecessary harm to someone's mental health. So we be kind as much as we can. So if the time comes for us to go get our business done, we'll get it right, and then they will know. They will know.
They will know who's the real number one. All right, guys. It's the reason why we both have our jackets on is because it's almost 2 a.m. in the morning, but we had to do this because we had to address this. People were asking for this. I have my jacket on because I am actually in a room where I have the aircon on. Fortunate enough to live in a house with aircon. One is wearing a hoodie because he just doesn't want to feel left out, even though all he has is a fan. Oh, damn it, he's showing his aircon. Which, by the way, important thing, is not on because he did not pay his electricity bills.
Whether it works or not, or it's just a decoy or dummy aircon for Mustafa Center, we never know.
And on that note, guys, take care, everyone. Be safe. Be kind to giraffes and respect lions, right?
Peace.
We love you guys. This is the One Man Show. Keep on listening to us. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and especially Spotify. We've reached over 5,000 listeners. You guys keep us going. We're going to put up more crap soon. We're going to stir up more shit soon. And hopefully one day we're going to look back at this and one is going to prove to us that whatever he said in this podcast is right. Right, One?
Yes. Peace out. Cheers.
Good night, guys. Bye. Again, so hard to take you seriously when you have a tissue up your nose. I wish you had something else up your nose, but I mean, that's another podcast for another day, right?